The Bard class is an acquired taste. It's also arguably the most OP class in the game when mastered. What's going on, Malakas? Juice here, and let's be honest, not many people want to play a minigame inside a game. In this video, I'll go over some guidelines and basics that you can use on your next adventure or even for next wipe. Things like stat priority, perks, and what songs to take are going to greatly depend on your personal playstyle and or what role do you fulfill in your group. To keep things simple, I highly recommend taking Charismatic Performance and Storyteller as the first two perks no matter what build you're going to be playing. The other two perks are personal preference, and in the spirit of keeping things simple, I'll leave it at that. Well, in the spirit of keeping things simple, I won't be mentioning +1 all stat, even though the Bard class benefits the absolute most from it over any other class. +1 all is a bit more expensive, especially if it has any base stats like strength or armor along with it, thus pushing it far out of reach of realistically gearing up with it on an often basis. I'll have a more advanced guide that will include stuff like +1 all in it in about a week or so from now. With the recent changes to bards needing knowledge, the Storyteller perk is almost a need to have if you want to have access to self buffs and some utility. Otherwise, you'll have to stack knowledge as a primary stat on your gear, and let's be honest, no one wants to do that. The Charismatic Performance perk is literal bliss because it's going to allow you to skip notes and upgrades a good performance into a perfect, and if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments section. If you're heavy into solo PvP, or you're considered a frontliner in your group, then you'll want to focus primarily on strength, armor, and agility. These three stats are going to heavily determine how well you stand up in a fight, given that you don't just throw right off the bat. A Master Bard will always cycle through these three songs when fighting. They're going to be Accelerando, Allegro, and Shriek of Weakness. Why these three songs? Because Accelerando is going to make your whole group move faster, Allegro is going to make everybody swing faster, shoot faster, and cast spells faster, and then you've got the bread and butter, the chef's kiss, which is Shriek of Weakness, and I swear, if Iron Hammer nerfs this song, I might just end up rage quitting the class. If you're more of a support/utility player, then you'll want to focus more on agility, resourcefulness, and knowledge. This way you can have access to more songs, play them faster, and make them last longer. The same rules are going to apply as before. You'll want to camp more primarily your drums and your flute. You're also going to be attacking more often than not from range, and you're only going to really want to frontline if absolutely necessary. This is kind of a blanket statement for everybody. You're going to want to have good map knowledge, especially if you're playing a bard and your role in the group is utility. It's going to allow you to know all the entrances, all the exits, where all the loot's at, all that good stuff so that you can help and assist in making the best plays. If your map knowledge is shit like mine is, then use the wiki. I will leave it in the description and I'll pin it in a comment. That way you can click it, save it, and that way you've got access to all the maps. If you're more of a get in, get the loot, aka ratting, then you'll want to focus more specifically on resourcefulness, agility, and knowledge. You're going to have access to a few songs, you're going to play them much faster, and they're going to last a little longer. This is going to help you a lot when ratting because you're not going to be nearly as loud for, like, as ironic as that is. You're quite loud as a bard, so when you're trying to just go in, snag the loot, that's all you're looking to do. You're going to want to play songs really fast, have them last longer, and you're going to duck, dive, ditch, dodge, all that stuff, including all the wrenches they're going to throw at you. Get the loot, get the loot! Me. The songs I'd recommend taking in a default kit are going to be Rousing Rhythms for the +3 all stats, Harmonic Shield for the 15 armor and 15 magic resistance, Shriek of Weakness to debuff NPCs and players, and some players are NPCs, and finally Tranquility because it's kinda clutch. With the recent changes to the storm damage not ticking away at your recoverable hit points, it makes Tranquility very usable, and in fact, you'll recover more hit points than the storm damage can tick away. Making Tranquility super clutch when you've either eaten a lot of storm because it didn't favor you, or PvE got in your way, or whatever the case may be on that one, or you had to go around a player or a whole team, or you're just simply waiting for the guaranteed exit to open up. If you took Storyteller as a perk, that combined with Rousing Rhythms will give you an additional 6 knowledge, so you can feel free to put whatever mix of songs you want in for your game style. I went ahead and went with Accelerando and Beats of Alacrity because I like to zoom across the map. I could use your help. If you enjoyed the content, then please consider subscribing. We're on our way to 100 subscribers. I kept the guide short and not too overly complicated as to not confuse or misrepresent things as they currently are in the game. I'll have in-depth guides later down the road when the game is more in a solid state, because these current updates can change how a whole class operates, kind of like the Bard class. But you all know what I'm talking about though, right? Love, peace, and chicken grease. Be safe, but above all, stay classy. And we out.